like, most people were playing all these in the same deck, but there were later on other decks that would just play like one of them because it's like, oh, I'm playing a water deck, I'm gonna put Tidal in there because it's like Tidal's a good card. So let's move on. We showed you the daddy rulers. Here are the baby rulers. That's why they're the daddies.
Dragon Ruler of Sparks. You can discard this card and add 1 dragon type or fire monster. Special summon 1 Blaster Dragon Ruler of Infernos from your deck. You can discard this card and 1 dragon type. Okay, so this is redundancy to find the Blaster. Okay, you can attack this turn. You can only use the effect of this once per turn. Okay.
So I will let you know without showing you, there is a baby of all of the 4 dragons I showed you before. So they all have the same effect, except they get their respective dragon.
Okay.
Just to save you reading 3 cards, you're welcome.
Okay, I thank you. I appreciate it. You can discard this and 1 dragon fire type monster. But that has to be on board. 1 dragon type or fire monster on board.
No, from your hand.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. Sorry. It would have been sacrificing if it was on board. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so this is to draw your respective dragon, and you're putting cards into your graveyard, which is good. So you can kind of just use the blaster and or whatever dragon you're looking for immediately because of how.
Hypothetically, yeah. So you could go like burner, pitch it, and another dragon to bring out blaster, and now you have 2 dragons in the graveyard. So if you pitch a dragon, so you could banish those 2 dragons to summon one of your other dragon rulers and have 2 dragons on the field, just with a very simple play pattern there.
Okay. Still
think that's fine?
I think Blaster is not as much of a problem, but Burner might be the bigger issue because it's the consistency, right?
Interesting. Okay.
I don't like the way you say that, but
I can't spoil everything.
That's fair. Okay.
You're intrigued, huh? Let's show you some more cards. What do you think about this card?
I've seen that card before.
You have seen it before.
Very prominent art. Card destruction. Both players discard as many cards as possible from their hands, then each player draws the same number of cards they discarded. Okay, so that is what? To put the dragons and stuff in your graveyard so you are able to actually use the effects of these individual dragons. That card seems very good.
You think that got it?
So I'm gonna try to metagame this a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Try to mitigate this.
If I was current Yu-Gi-Oh, would I not play this card? Isn't this card insane? I'm thinking big here. Hold on. I'm really trying to win. Like in Hearthstone,
I could tell.
In Hearthstone, this card isn't playable because I don't have the graveyard, or like the same way you guys use it. So that makes that worse. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you like what we've said before, graveyard is your second hand. That seems like it'd be super powerful. You also get like weirdly, you get information from your opponent's hand as well because you know what's sacrificed into the graveyard or discarded into it. That seems pretty good. It seems like if it interacts with the dragons as well to give you like additional resources to pull or do stuff from each dragon, like seems pretty decent.
Well, hypothetically, right? If you have card destruction and 4 dragons, you card destruction, discard them all, draw 4 new cards, and now you have hypothetically fodder to summon 2 dragons immediately.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Is it fine?
Dude, that's a tough one. Like, I don't think it is fine. I think that card's pretty gross.
Okay.
How many cards do you start with your opening hand? 5?
But you wouldn't draw. You'd only draw 4. Yeah, because you don't count the card destruction. Yep.
Okay. I'm thinking that might be limited because I think the opening might be too good.
Okay, so you think card destruction is limited.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a note here for now. Okay, you can go back and change your evaluation later on. What do you think about this card?
The way you said that reminded me of, you ever taken a test and your teacher walks by and goes, everyone make sure you read the question?
Yeah.
Super rejuvenation. Okay. During the end phase of the turn this card is activated, draw a number of cards equal to the combined number of dragon-type monsters you discarded or tributed from your hand or your side of the field this turn. Whoa. What's the icon next to the spell card there? What is that? That's not like
that is a quick play, so that means you could hypothetically do it on your opponent's turn as well.
Okay, so if I go card destruction and I theoretically have 4 dragons in my hand, and then I have super rejuvenation, I could draw an additional. What's the max? You don't have a max size in Yu-Gi-Oh for hand size, right? You do.
We
not.
do. It's 6.
Oh, wait, is it actually? Wait, how come? Was it Master Duel? Maybe it was against tier limits where like I felt like my hand was so big I had to like legitimately scroll through my hand.
I mean, you can have a bunch of cards in your hand, but at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to 6.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to do this necessarily on the end of your turn. You would want to do this on the end of your opponent's turn. Maybe. I mean, actually, I guess it really doesn't matter as long as you're getting to what you need to do on the board. So it actually might be. I mean, that just seems like an objectively pretty good card in this.
Okay.
You're discarding a lot. It's only dragon types. Oh yeah.
But I mean, hypothetically, if you look at the rulers and the daddies, assume you're playing 3 of all of them. you have 24 dragons in your deck already if you're playing 3 of everything.
Yeah, I'm also just trying to think about like, so pot of greed is 1 for 2. This is technically like 1 for like a billion.
Yep, pretty much.
So, I mean, if they're banning pot of greed just because of how good that is, and you could run 3 copies of this, like you're probably drawing through your whole deck in 1 turn, depending on what your opening hand was. That feels like it would not be pretty like balanced.
Not to mention, if you go to end phase and discard for hand size, you're just putting more dragons in the graveyard for fodder for the next turn.
Yeah, have you showed me any? You haven't shown me a single card that can activate in my opponent's turn yet, right? I don't know if that's a
I have not.
Okay.
I will let you know. Remember, we're in like the middle of Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially. Like we're like 10, 11, 12 years in. Quick effects on the opponent's turn were not as common as they are now, where it's like every card has a quick effect. So I'll give you that like little piece of information just to help you out a bit.
Okay.
It was like trap cards and quick play spells, and maybe every now and then you would have something that was a quick effect on the opponent's turn. But for the most part, every card was on a quick effect during this time. Like every card was typically like you played it on your turn, unless it was like a trap or a quick play spell. Exact. There was a couple hand traps during this time, only a few though.
Maxi wasn't in the game yet?
Maxi was in the game at this point, actually.
Was it played?
It was.
Oh God, man, it's been in the game for that long and still cooking? That's
It was
ridiculous.
printed in 2011, I want to say. It is very old,
Jesus.
actually.
Okay.
And we're still dealing with it on Master Duel. It's great.
Super Rejuvenation seems like a very good card. So
Okay.
they would have to probably limit that.
It's a very old card for context.
So dragons were very prominent when this card was released then. And then they're like, we need to, when all these dragons came out, then obviously it became a lot better.
Yeah, so in the set it was released in, it was, the set had like sort of like 3 different like tribal themes. So it's like there was fiends, warriors, and dragons. And so I think that's a fair assessment that, you know, the dragon support back then wasn't nearly as good as it is now, let's say.
Yeah, you weren't running this in like your Blue Eyes White Dragon deck?
No.
Okay. Okay. Or Blue Eyes. Was Blue Eyes
Blue Eyes White Dragon was not good until like 2017.
He didn't even see play in the dragon deck.
So funny enough, he actually did see play in this deck. It wasn't like common, but you could play Blue Eyes in this deck if you wanted to. Yeah, I don't want to get super into it, but you could play it in this deck.
What is the reason to play Blue Eyes? Isn't he just like a 3,000 attack monster?
Give this a quick read.
White Stone of Legend. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it's
so basically, it basically is a way to get more value out of you like pitching cards for these dragon effects, right? So it was a level 1 tuner. So if you wanted to play level 8 synchros because the dragons are level 7, you can go either one of the babies, you can discard it and another card to summon out the ruler. You can normal summon your White Stone of Legend, and you make a synchro play for a level 8 monster, hypothetically. So there was actual utility for playing this and Blue Eyes in your deck. And Blue Eyes is another dragon, so right, you can just pitch it for an effect of Burner or any of the babies or the daddies and just special summon one of the dragon rulers. So it was a free card, basically, which is why people played it.
So,
like I said, it wasn't super common, but some people did.
Blue Eyes White Dragon is just basically in the deck for fodder. Like, he's just...
Essentially, yeah. Like, there were also, like, rank 8 monsters in the Xyz pool that you could play, but that wasn't, like, super common.
I mean, I feel
It was
bad
mainly
for
just for the fact that, like, it mitigated the cost of playing the rulers was the main thing.
I feel bad for Blue Eyes. That still sucks, but whatever.
Yeah. Hey, he had his moment. He won the world championship in, like, 2017, so he had his moment. They had to give him, like, the fucking most broken support ever for him to do that, but they did.
Has Dark Magician ever won?
Nope. Dark Magician always sucks and always will. Although, I say that at the time of recording this, they announced they're releasing more Dark Magician support, and it looks fucking broken as shit. So maybe I'll stand corrected when that happens.
Good. I was gonna say that's kind of rude. They would focus on like one of them, but not the other one. Okay.
And Blue Eyes has always been better out of the two. Like just historically, that has always been the case. It's like not even close.
Yeah, but in the anime, right? Aren't they like the equivalent? Like, isn't Dark Magician?
I mean, they're like equal because like Dark Magician's Yugi's card, Blue Eyes is Kaiba's, so like they're kind of like, you know, they go back and forth.
But people like Blue Eyes way more.
Oh yeah, I would say Blue Eyes is way more popular for sure.
Okay.
When you hear people say like, "Oh yeah, I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! I know the Blue Eyes White Dragon." They typically don't say the Dark Magician. They usually say the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
That is fair. I would agree with that.
So Super Rejuvenation. What do you think?
I'd have to see the rest of the package, but I think legitimate. It's like Pot of Greed, if not better, because you're probably drawing more cards more often than Pot of Greed. I'm going to assume. is minimum you're getting 2. So it's like Pot of Greed at worst. I guess it could be a nothing card, but like, I mean, you're running so many ways of discarding dragons that it's probably going to be good enough. I'll have to, let me see what the payoff is though.
We'll put a pin in it. All right, here's your next one.
Gold Sarcophagus. Manage one card from your deck face up. During your from your deck? Interesting. During your second standby phase, after this card's activation, add that card to your hand. Whoa. That is a cool card.
Isn't it?
Wait, that is a sick card.
So fun fact, this was actually a prize card initially. I believe in 2006 or 7. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So the only way to get this was to actually like win or top a tournament, essentially. They eventually reprinted it and in abundance. And during this time, it was already reprinted. So it wasn't like a $5 billion card or anything. But a lot of people like Gold Sarcophagus, yeah.
Wait, so
it also just looks really very Yu-Gi-Oh with the art too.
I would agree. The Millennium Eye or whatever it's called is pretty iconic. But it says during your second standby phase, right? So that means during your second standby phase after you play this card, not actually.
Yes.
Okay.
So you play the card.
Oh, right.
Then a full turn cycle goes around. That's your first standby phase or like upkeep. And then a full another cycle would go around. That's your second standby phase. So like 2 full turns have to go around after you play the card.
How good is this card? What a weird card. I'm trying to think of this.
Read the Dragon Rulers again.
No, I know, but okay, sorry. I'm thinking like in a vacuum specifically.
Oh, in a vacuum. Okay.
I'm shocked. This is the first time you've shown me this card.
I've still been holding out some good cards for you.
So like in Heart, okay, well, Hearts and Straw is infinitely better. So we have Life Tap. Life Tap, I draw a card for 2. It depends on how expensive this card would be, but the fact you get to pick it from your deck is so
You get to pick the card. That's the big difference here.
You show your opponent what card you're getting.
Yeah, they see it. It's not a hidden information. They know what you're getting.
One.
There's an old card actually.
So this is something that's possible that I didn't know was possible because I'm a stupid idiot who doesn't read cards.
So your opponent can actually destroy it potentially. But that card was face down, so your opponent actually didn't see what card you added. So it was interesting that we got, I guess, a better version of it.
I'm shocked. Like, I guess maybe in future Yu-Gi-Oh! This card's too slow, which kind of sounds intriguing. But that card's cool.
It's funny you say that. Okay.
Oh, really? Is it fast?
Yeah, you'll find out. I'll reveal everything.
It's not 2 turns. I would get like a Hearthstone if this card would legitimately be played. You guys have
if there was a card in Hearthstone that said like for 0 or 1 or 2 mana, you pick any card from your deck and then in 2 turns it goes to your hand.
Well, I mean, if I played that in my opening hand, it'd be an auto include. Like if I got that opening hand, it'd be an auto.
If it was like a quest, like you always got it.
Yeah, like if it wasn't like
yeah, I was gonna use Emerald Bird to do this, but this works too.
I'm happy to play a card like this because a lot of the time it's like there's for example, like there's a deck called Odin Warrior, which was completely based around finding like the legendary Odin. If you didn't find it, your deck didn't operate. So like you need to find it immediately. If I got the opportunity to have it in my hands like every single game, it would just start to be an auto include. So that seems really good. That's why I'm shocked. Like especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I haven't seen this card before. So that makes me believe that this card is insane. But the question is, what are you pulling? Like, is it card destruction? Are you happy with it? Maybe you just don't want a dragon. Really cool card.
Well,
really cool.
why don't you read the third to last sentence on one of the dragons?
Third to last sentence on one of them. This card is banished. You can add 1 fire dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. So not only are you're gonna pull this card to your hand, you also get a fire dragon type monster or whatever the respective type is.
So it's basically a +1 delayed, if you will, because it's a 1 for 2, but you don't get the second card until 2 turns later.
You would draw. That's actually sick. Sick. Man, so you run 3 copies of that? I mean, that card's gotta be fucking limited. That is insane. That is so strong.
Okay, so you're at Card Destruction Limited and you're at Gold Sark Limited at the current.
Maybe that's a fucking super cool card. Like that is.
Isn't it cool?
So many things you can do with that. Just man, is that? I mean, that interaction's stupid. But in general, is that a broken effect in Yu-Gi-Oh to get a card 2 turns later? Probably like an older Yu-Gi-Oh it was.
I will say, like during older Yu-Gi-Oh, like the games did last longer and there were more turns played compared to modern.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Cool card.
Let's show you a field spell.
Dragon Ravine. That dragon up there. Why did it go pointy?
The dragon.
It looks so pointy.
The archetype, which you'll see in the effect, which is the card the effect that doesn't really matter as much because there's 2 effects on this. The dragons in that archetype are very pointy for some reason. I don't know why.
Once per turn, you can discard one card and then activate one of these effects. Add one level 4 or lower Dragoonity. Dragoony. That's a weird word. Is that an archetype, Dragoon?
It's an archetype. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the pointy dragons.
Oh, so that's why they're like pointy, is because they probably have like a gun or something. Okay. I'm assuming. Let's just go with that. Monster from your deck to your hand, or send one dragon type monster from your deck to your graveyard. Okay, so in this context, you're picking the second one every single time.
Yeah, I'll give you this. Like, some of the decks did play this Dragoonity monster. You don't have to read it. It's basically, you can see it's pointy, so it's
Holy
fitting.
fuck!
But what matters here, similar to the Whitestone of Legend, this is a level 1 tuner. So there were instances where some decks would play this because they wanted to make a level 8 synchro. But for the most part, you are correct. They're using basically the second effect of the Dragon Arena, for sure.
Okay, so am I happy to play a spell card, field card, right? That stays on the board.
So it stays out on the field unless someone interacts with it. It just stays out there.
To draw, I'm going to use quotations here to draw one card into my graveyard. No, I'm happy to do that. Why wouldn't I be happy to do that?
Think it's fine?
I'm trying to think of, can you play this like turn 1 when you get
You can do all this shit turn 1. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like how much. Like, do you need to run 3 copies of this? Probably. It's not, if
I will let you know. There's also this card. I don't know if I've ever shown it to you before.
Yeah, you've shown me terraforming. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done so. Okay.
Okay, so you're basically
Just helping you out. So
now you have this on board. You are discarding a card that goes into your graveyard, and then you're also getting another card from your deck that's just drawing it and putting it to your graveyard, so you're allowed to get these dragons out earlier. That seems pretty good. On top of that, that makes Super Rejuvenation even better. So you're kind of really, you're like tripling down. That card is fucking stupid. That's way better than everything else you showed me so far, I think.
The Super Rejuvenation?
Yeah, that card is like like Hearthstone has this problem like currently in Wild, which is like with discard Warlock, where it feels like discarding shouldn't be that good, but when you have like a critical mass of like discarding, then it becomes a huge problem. And then you also fill your hand, which is, it's pretty good. Never run out of resources. The only reason it's so fresh in my mind is Hearthstone does these things every once in a while called like a heroic Brawliseum, which is like, I'm not gonna go through the semantics of what it is, but this time it's wild, and you usually want to play the best decks because the entrance fee is quite a substantial amount. So I was going up against a lot of discard Warlocks, and like 30 card deck, they're probably done drawing their entire deck by turn 4. Kind of reminds me of that whole discard mechanic, which means Super Rejuvenation is like an even better card than I probably think it is, and so is Card Destruction. Card Destruction gets slightly worse if I'm already discarding a lot of the cards in my hand, but like it's just redundancy at that point. And if I've seen anything, like the reason why Tear Limit was so good is that you always paid out because of your redundancy. So if no other deck was matching the redundancy of this, all of these are good. Because you're here to just explode dragons onto the board before your opponent even has a chance to react. And even if they do have a chance to react, then you have like the effects of each individual dragon to do something. Is that big? I feel like Dragon Ravine might be fine. I feel like terraforming is the problem, but I can't remember when the last time what happened to terraforming last time. Did you tell me this was banned?
I will tell you because you're not reading terraforming. Terraforming got limited at a point.
At a point. Okay, got limited, not banned.
Basically, field spells started getting so good that they had to limit terraforming because it was like way too much consistency to get like these powerful field spell effects.
So that means the field card on its own is really, really strong, which means Dragon Ravine.
I didn't say when terraforming got hit, but it did technically get hit at some point.
Yeah, but Ravine objectively in this deck is very good. So it's okay. Not like that's the issue here. It's more like
he's one of the best decks ever. So like, yeah, you're probably right. I think all these cards are pretty good.
We'll leave Ravine for now.
Okay.
I feel like
so we're still at limited card destruction and gold stars. That's still where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's your next card.
Turn from a different dimension. I believe you've also shown me this card before.
I think I have. Give it a refresher.
Points. Special summon as many of your removed. Special summon as many of your removed from play monsters as possible. During the end phase, remove from play all monsters that were special summoned by this effect.
So as a reminder, this is an old card. Remove from play was before they coined banished as a term, so it's just a bit old.
Huh.
Yeah, interesting card, huh?
in other words, right? It re-banishes them, correct? Is that how I would read that?
It resummons all of them, and then it rebanishes all of them.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So look,
But,
let me go back.
you wait till the end of the turn to do that.
Right, but if they get banished, for instance, right, the fire guy pulls another card from my deck.
Oh, they all do.
Oh yeah, okay, fair. So, how am I banishing cards to begin with here? Just the.
How are you banishing cards to begin with? Maybe read the first line of text on one of the daddy really quick.
Oh, you know, this is a lot of information. Okay, you can banish. Oh, yes, so true. Basically, the way I'm reading it, they can attack the turn they're played as long as you're not going
Everything
first
has
turn.
haste.
But you
Everything has
wouldn't play this card the first turn anyways because you would free fill the board. So this is like reassurance if your board gets deleted to have another onslaught of dragons on board. And then you could do this multiple. I mean, this card's fucked. Like this card, I think this card. Hearthstone has this problem of like, I deal with my opponent's board and then they just resummon it and I'm crying.
Oh, interesting.
So this is the same thing, but it's weird because your opponent doesn't even want to really interact with it because. So if okay, hold on. If my opponent destroys a monster that was summoned by this card, does it get banished at the end of the turn?
No, it goes back to the graveyard.
Is it still considered banished though?
Nope.
Okay, so it changes like its status as it's.
Yep. But you could. It's like hypothetically, you're bringing them back from the banish zone, and then if they get destroyed, they go to the graveyard. So you could hypothetically use them again for more material to summon more dragons.
Yeah, that's fucked. That card's probably banned. That is,
Okay.
that's
So
a
we're
stupid-
at
That's a
we're at
stupid card.
Card Destruction and Gold Sark Limited, and for banned we have Return. Okay. All right. This is turning out to be interesting.
I would be shocked.
Let's
if
show you
told
some
me that's
payoffs.
not banned. Okay.
Let's show you some payoffs here, because I've been showing you all the cards of the main deck, and I think I basically constructed the whole deck for you. There was a couple other cards played, but they weren't as relevant to this. So we're gonna put this here, and let's show you some payoffs. Let's see if you remember what Xyz monsters do.
What the fuck is this? It's just a giant. Is this a plain dragon? What is
It's a
this?
giant plain dragon. Yeah.
Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac. That sounds.
Dracosac. Yeah.
What the fuck? 2 level 7 monsters. Let me just scroll up here. The big dragons are level 7.
How convenient.
Okay. So that seems easy. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens that are a machine win level 3 attack 0 and defense 0. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, you contribute 1 Mecha Phantom Beast monster. Then target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. This card cannot attack during the turn that you have to activate this effect. And maybe it's relevant for the 2600 attack because
It's kind of big. You know?
Well, you control a
all the
token.
dragons are big, but he's big too.
well, this one I think it matters a little bit more because it's like while you control a token, like you can't really destroy it, so it might matter a little bit more. So that seems pretty good. Once per turn means you can do it on your opponent's turn.
No, there's no quick effects, so it's only your turn. Like I said, remember, during this time, quick effects are not very common. It's basically relegated to quick effect spells like Super Rejuvenation, trap
why
cards
did
like
they-
Return.
Why did they do that? If the game was, I don't know how powerful the game was already, but like, why did they need to feel like they needed to add a bunch of quick effects on my opponent's turn?
Just power creep, I think, inevitably. Like right now, like one of the biggest issues is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that every archetype is getting a card that on like turn 0, so like if you're going second, you can like special summon it to your field and start playing on the opponent's turn like Terra Limit. So all of these new archetypes are getting at least 1 card that does that. So like the opponent can just like start playing even like when you're doing your stuff to try to like interrupt you. I think it's just like the game's 25 years old at this point. I think it's just like the evolution of power creep. That's
Interesting.
I think that's just how the game ended up shifting.
The way Yu-Gi-Oh is now is like a cascading problem of like the second they allow my monster effects to be activated in my opponent's turn, that means every monster needs to be able to. Because then that one monster is always going to be the strongest monster as long as the effect is decent enough.
Kind of. Like the trade-off is like if it's not a quick effect, it's usually a more powerful effect. I mean, it can still be powerful as a quick effect too, obviously. But usually like the more powerful cards aren't quick effects, and then things that are still good, don't get me wrong, but maybe aren't as good are quick effects. And that's not the case for everything, but I want to say that's kind of like, why the normal summon is so important, even though you only get 1 of it, because it's like the normal summon can be like one of the best effects in your deck if it does resolve. And so that again, I think it's just sort of how the game has like philosophically shifted, and just like we're getting like Yu-Gi-Oh 2 era.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, it's just
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
It is interesting, yeah, for sure.
This card seems good. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here.
This card, for context, was released in the same set as the Dragon.
Does my opponent have time to do something when I use this effect?
Sure. Like when you activate the effect to summon the tokens, for hypothetically.
What or the once per turn I can destroy a card on the field.
Yeah. So if you go like effect Draco Sack you tribute the monster. Well, let me see. Once per turn, yeah. So you tribute the Mecha Phantom Beast token and you target the card for cost. Your opponent then has the ability to respond to that in some way.
And just remind me, when I XYZ a monster, when the ID attached material, it goes to the graveyard?
Correct. That's...
Wow, it's almost like even if I use this card, I'm gonna get more dragons back.
Interesting.
That's so great. I mean, that card seems pretty stupid.
Okay.
But is that the issue of this card or the dragon? I was talking about it, was it like last episode or the episode before, how like XYZ monsters or your extra deck are just so fucked? Because it's like...
They're usually like your boss monsters of the deck, right? So that's why they're fucked. Because
then it's like
they're meant to be.
In the context of like the game we're doing, like this meta game, it's so hard to be like, you can't limit it, so it's banned or it's not worth banning. Like, there's no in between here. So it's like, is a card this strong in 2014 worth banning? I don't think of what else you've shown me over the years.
That's a great question.
Is there more payoffs than this before I answer this question?
There is. Let's show you another one.
Because that is...
There's another rank 7. I think I've showed you this before.
That does seem familiar. Number 11, Big Eye.
I think I showed you this when we actually did the Xyz monster video, if I recall.
Oh, yeah, I remember the text. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one monster your opponent controls, take control of that monster. This card cannot attack the turn that this effect is activated. But you also stole your opponent's monster. Yep.
So hypothetically, if you're playing the mirror match, if your opponent summons a Draco Sack, you can summon a Big Eye and take your Draco Sack and use its effects.
Okay, I gotta think really big here. Hold on, I gotta think really big. Did this card get banned? God, I don't remember. Fuck, it's been so long.
You want to see another payoff?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, you're thinking? Okay, I'll wait.
God, that effect is so stupid.
For context, they banned several cards with that effect already that were too good.
Hey, show me the other payoff. I want to have a conversation, but I think this card's fun.
So here's a level 8 synchro that you can make with the White Stone with Forseska, hypothetically.
Crimson Blader. Bladder? No, Blader.
Crimson Bladder.
Warrior Synchro effect. Okay, one tuner, plus one or more non-tuner monsters.
Yeah, so I'd be thinking.
If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and such as the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn.
So in the mirror match, if you left up something that Crimson Blader could run over, you kill it, and now they can't summon any of their daddy dragons their next turn.
What are the chances your opponent doesn't have like something to answer this card immediately? Probably unlikely at this point, but you have the... That card is really interesting. I feel like you'd win more. I feel like if you got the attack off, though, it's already over.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah, I'd agree.
So I don't know how bad this card truly is, but in some instances when you're counting removal, like maybe this gets to sneak its way to...
Remember, like I said, quick effects are not super common during this time. Keep that in mind.
I feel like the Big Eyes was better, but...
Okay, that's fair.
So
There's nothing wrong with that.
You gotta remind me with Big Eye, if I steal my opponent's card and it dies, it still goes to their graveyard, right?
Yeah, of course.
In this context, it's a little worse then, because I would like to steal my opponent's resources, because the graveyard seems very good here.
But you're also like denying them from putting it into the graveyard because you're stealing it. So, I mean, there's also that argument.
Yeah, it's fair. It's also on your board. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good card. I'm not sure about Crimson Blader here. That's a tough one, because I do think it's maybe like a slightly win more card. I can see why it's so good. I'm iffy on that one. I don't think
you're not convinced. You're not convinced.
I don't think it's as spicy as the other ones, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Let me show you one last card here. Let me show you. This isn't a payoff. This is just another card I would show you.
Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. Banish one level 7 monster from your hand or face-up field. Draw 2 cards. You can only activate this once per turn. Oh, okay. Well, that's just disgusting, though. Like, hello? in this deck, that's disgusting. Man, it's so, like...
Why is it disgusting, Rarid?
Because if you banish one of the dragons, you get the card from your deck anyway. So
How convenient.
you're drawing 3 cards, and then it makes the other card better, whatever that thing is called, return from a different dimension. So you're just double downing on something that's not even a negative. This Yu-Gi-Oh design is actually banishing 1 level set of monsters. Not that great. Wait, from your head? Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. Man, drawing is... When drawing's good, it's so good in this game.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Holy,
And look at all the cards you have in this deck to draw cards with.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking stupid as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. Is that the
This
last?
is all your cards. This is the last card. So you have to make your final decisions here before I go on my big long rant.
Let me go through my list here.
Yep. Start back at the top.
Okay. Blaster. Okay, all the dragons individually just pull other cards from your deck. That makes the deck more redundant. If I ban any of these cards, I'd have to ban basically every single, maybe half of them to make the deck less consistent. But I feel
Maybe
like
they did that. Maybe they did that.
really.
But I'm throwing it out there. It's not impossible for them to. They have the ability to.
I'm gonna come back to the dragon. I'm gonna come back to the dragons.
Okay. Okay.
I think the other cards. Okay. Card discard. Let me really think of this. So, I open this card.
Okay.
I discard my whole hand. I draw 4, but then I have the resources in my graveyard. The resources in my graveyard allow me to get more resources and or develop the board. It also works really well with Dragon Rejuvenation, which I also think is a huge problem in this deck, but we'll get there in a second. This card also lets me see what my opponent put into their grave. This card seems silly. In Yu-Gi-Oh's context, this card looks really good. In Hearthstone, it's not as good, but we see just from this archetype alone, it doesn't even have to be in a vacuum, how good it is to get stuff in your graveyard. So this card, I think, has to be effective. So
Standard's already limited.
yeah, so I think limited's fair, because then you have to make the conversation. Like, I don't think it's bad to have this card in the game necessarily. I might regret that, but that seems like it's like an okay. Like, I think at limited is fine. Okay, Super Rejuvenation. It depends on how they handle this. Because this card, like you said, before this archetype came out, wasn't very played. But if they ban some of the dragons, this card gets worse indirectly. Well, I guess directly, not even indirectly. Directly, because you need dragons for this card to be playable. So they either had to, well, okay, does banning the dragons solve the issue of this card? If I have half the amount of dragons in my deck, how good is this card? It's still very good if I discard more than 1 card.
And to be fair, you could always play other dragons besides the ones that I showed. Because dragons are one of the most represented types in all of them.
Okay, that card probably has to be limited as well, but we'll hold on.
Gold Star.
Okay.
Your favorite card of the bunch.
This card's cool.
You love this card. You love this
I
card.
think this card is just gonna get, like, this card in a vacuum seems like it's so interesting. I don't think it would get touched for the sake of the dragons, but again, it comes down to whether or not they want to ban the dragons or limit the dragons, then hit a card like this. If they hit the dragons, this card doesn't have to be touched. If they don't hit the dragons, this card is +1 every single time. It does not matter.
Yep.
And you get the additional effect of putting a card in your banished list.
Yep.
Or your banished zone, which is actually relevant in a deck like this. Oh, that card seems really good. Let me come back to this one. That card's tough. Dragon Ravine's interesting. I don't think Dragon Ravine is necessarily as bad, especially if they're gonna hit terraforming. If they hit terraforming, Dragon Ravine is probably fine. If they don't hit terraforming, then we have a problem, because then what you would do is
I'll let you know, terraforming was unlimited during this time.
Okay, so that means if I'm a deck builder, am I running more than 1 copy of Ravine? Because if I'm running terraforming, which I think is the better card, I'd rather have the card to get the card and have multiple versions of the card. I think you would only run 1 copy to begin with if terraforming is unlimited. I don't think I'm trying to think if there's any reason I would want to run more than 1 copy. Maybe
Your opponent destroys it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But even then, like, if they're using a resource for that, and I already got the 1 effect for it, I think as long as you do it once, like, you're probably happy. And you drew a card with terraforming. That's 1 extra card, anyways.
Sure.
So
deck fading a little bit. Sure.
It's like, I don't think you would want to run more than 1 copy if terraforming's in play. So I think that's fine. So I think it was okay. I don't know if you want me to rate terraforming, but if it was at
No, you don't have to. No, you have to rate terraforming.
Okay.
Return for the different dimensions.
Man, that shit's hella stupid.
Okay.
That card's not allowed. I think that card. I think I had the same reaction when you showed it to me last time.
Probably.
It seems
probably.
very-
It's good that you still had the same reaction when I showed it to you a second time.
Okay, it seems stupid. It seems dumb. I don't know why they would make
Okay.
a card like that. That seems very stupid.
Draco Sack.
Big payoffs. Again, it comes down to the situation of if I am in the extra deck, I have to either ban it or I have to just leave it alone. Am I thinking?
Or if you ban the dragons, then you can't summon the Draco Sack. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if there's no way they ban all dragons. There's just no way. There's no way. I wouldn't believe it. Are you gonna tell me the story was there's no other way than just banning all 4 big dragons and the deck just didn't exist anymore?
You'll find out momentarily.
I feel like that's unsatisfying. I feel like that's very unsatisfying if that's the case. But even then, it's like 2 level 7 monsters seems like in Yu-Gi-Oh, depending on the deck, like it couldn't be that, like in other decks, this is playable. So it's not like this is.
I will say during this time, this was like the best deck to be playing that card though. Like yes, other decks could play it, but this was by far and away the best deck because you had so many ways to get 7s on the field to make it.
Yeah, but again, is that like that feels like it's the deck fault, not the actual card's fault.
Oh, that's fair. I'm just presenting an argument.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that one's fine. Okay, let me think. We got it. I think this motherfucker was banned. I can't remember.
This is the best part is I'm re-showing you cards, so it's like a skill check to see if you remember.
I think it's. I'm gonna ban.
Okay. Big Eye banned.
I think the card is really stupid. I'm not sure about Crimson Blader. Like, I mean, it's so wishy-washy because I think the card is really, really good. But in the same instance, it has the chance of just doing literally nothing because
That's
you're
fair.
already won the
I mean,
game.
it's in your extra deck, so it's in your extra deck. So like, it's like you can use it when you want to.
That's fair. Sacred Sword of the 7 starts. So this is also interesting because now it's like if you ban Rejuvenation, this card also does the exact same thing in terms of draw. So you're just running.
I mean, Rejuvenation has a much higher ceiling, but sure, okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're still drawing 3 cards though.
Yeah, but I mean, Reju can draw you like 1,000,000, so like that's the trade-off, right? But it can either draw you 1,000,000 or none, right? Because it depends on how many dragons you discard.
I'm just trying to think of like in a vacuum, because I don't know how much Konami when they like do bans and stuff. Like if I'm looking at if I'm looking at Sacred Sword here, if this card's not good in any other deck besides this one, am I really gonna like ban it or eliminate it? Like
I will say this was probably the best deck that played this card. Maybe one of the only few that did. But I don't think that necessarily means they wouldn't hit it. I can't read Konami's fucking mind, so don't ask me.
Okay,
we don't even get explanations for why they ban cards for context. Okay, so like, good luck.
Okay, I think we're gonna go with limited then.
Limited on the Sacred Sword. Okay.
So that brings me back to Gold Sarcophagus and Rejuvenation. I don't think Gold Sarcophagus. Oh my God, this Gold Sarcophagus in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh though sounds so good.
Remember, we go by if it was ever banned.
Okay. I'm trying to think of myself. Why wouldn't you have shown me a card like this before? Like surely
because I have to save some cards for videos 40 years later.
Yeah, but that sounds like you're baiting me. That card.
I can't spoil everything in the first like 2 videos. I gotta save some of the good cards for later.
And I respect it. I respect that, but I still think that this card is so good that I'm shocked you haven't shown it to me. In the context of what Yu-Gi-Oh is, pulling a card from my deck when you guys are like craving for card draw seems like it's too good not to show. And also, why like a lot of other decks would want a card like this? It